And hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of After the Cook. Mel, Dark Side of the Grill, and today we've got a very special guest. He's here already. He's right there. Mr. Chris Sussman.
Yeah,
the barbecue guy.
There he is, Dark Side. Thank you. It's always a pleasure being here with you, brother.
Fantastic. Always a guest we love to have. Chris is out maybe for the night. He might be popping in later. We'll see what happens. Life gets busy
lately.
Yeah, life gets busy. It is what it is. We know how that goes. So cheers, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Cheers, Mr. Shem. We miss you.
Oh, beautiful.
I honestly think he's probably cooking something really good and just can't be bothered. Because the show, quite frankly, is labeled After the Cook, and Shem, after a long day at work, because he has this very serious job, he may be cooking right now. So for him, it's during the cook.
Well, there you go. See, that's the... Oh, yeah.
They're not all winners. I'm sorry. I was trying to do some Shem jokes, and it just didn't go over.
I do love him. I do
do, too.
Oh, yeah.
So how's it going, man?
No, not bad. Not bad. Surviving, busy, which is good.
So everybody's interested, the BBQ BUDDHA, blah, blah, blah. Really, the question I have for you is the same question we all have. Talk to us about this beef porchetta. I mean, you were doing all this other cool stuff last week, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was this beef porchetta post. They were like on Sunday. You like snuck this awesome cook in with no lead in, no anything, just boom, this like 12-foot beef porchetta on some guest chefs. So talk us through that.
So one of the neatest restaurants in Edmonton, the Workshop Eatery, is run by Paul Schufel. He is an amazing chef up here. He's got his fingers in a few things. He's got a burger shop and whatever. His beef supplier is a local dairy farm, which I have already been to, that is breeding a Holstein Wagyu cross.
Okay.
And he's producing some amazing Wagyu cross beef out right here, an hour away from my house, right? So I hung out with him for a day. We did a bunch of stuff. He sent me home with a little care package, get to know my beef. And I laughed. I'm like, I've already been eating your beef for a couple of years at these restaurants. He's like, well, this is for you to cook and you to figure out and whatever. So we hit it off. We hit it off real well.
Sounds like he's a good dude.
Oh, they're great people, man. They're great people. They're all like-minded people, right? So I was invited to a private event to celebrate his 100th animal that he's broken down for Paul. And this was Paul's event to celebrate that, right? So in celebration, there's this like 100-pound beefketta that's like 4.5 feet long, has to be cooked on a spit. We do it over the charcoal. And Jeff None, he's like, I only know one guy that's going to nail this cook just the way we need it. So he calls me up. I'm like, done, 100%.
And you came out to do, dude, that is super 100%. Cool.
So I was just blessed to be there. They got like Rob from...
So you didn't roll that big fatty up. It was already rolled. You just smoked it.
So I did a post a couple weeks ago. I was at an abattoir.
Yeah.
And this is the guy that rolled the beef. And he cut me my very own tomahawk. He's the one who cut that 30-pound bone-in brisket. So he's the one who rolled that bad boy up out at his facility there, and it was just the whole thing just all kind of came together. So I sat there.
Hold on, man, I'm losing my mind. Did you just say bone-in brisket?
Yes, I have a 30-something.
I missed that, and that is like that should be. Why isn't the internet like destroyed and broken in half? A bone-in brisket. Do tell us more.
Oh, buddy, it's coming. So that cook is coming. I haven't done the cook yet, but I pulled it out and showed everybody.
But where's the bone in position of the point in the flat? Where is it?
Underneath a bit of like the cage where the brisket sits.
Okay.
And it was amazing because I was there with Travis when he cut it out of the animal. Here, I've got a picture of him standing in front of this carcass on a hook.
Okay.
And he's got a knife in his hand, and you can see him. He's like trying to piece together how this works. Where this
wanted to don your Luke Skywalker outfit and crawl up in that thing and just spend the night.
It was so amazing, man. Like I had just had a blast. Amazing people, all professionals. Like, so I was honored to be asked to go out there and share that day with them. A bunch of people in the service industry, all the chefs from different restaurants and stuff.
That's awesome.
It was really
I don't
cool.
know much about Canada, and I know even less about Edmonton. Is it a province, or is it what is Edmonton in the big picture of Canada?
Edmonton is the capital of Alberta.
Okay, so Edmonton is in Alberta. So Edmonton would be like a city, and Alberta would be like a state.
Yes.
Okay.
Right in the center of Canada. That's.
And then give me another example of a state.
Well, next to us is British Columbia.
Oh, BC. Okay.
That's where all the best
inside British. Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, oh, the BC bud. I know that. Yeah.
And then if you go the other way, we got Manitoba. There's nothing. Oh, Saskatchewan. There's nothing in Saskatchewan, and then there's nothing in Manitoba.
Isn't
and then
that where
you get into Ontario.
Are from Saskatchewan? They're from the east, right?
They're headed east. Yep, but they're still prairies, right? It's they say, like, if you look out the side window of Alberta, you can see Toronto, right? Because there's just prairie right through to. It's a weird thing. It's and then, like Darren said, Darren's in Ontario, Toronto, Ontario. Our friend Jer is out in that's like the ivory tower of Canada.
So if I come to visit, are we allowed to come into Canada now? Have restrictions been? I don't know that actually.
They're talking about that in the high courts right now.
Okay, but I couldn't book a plane flight tomorrow and come to see you.
I don't think so.
Illegal at this point.
I don't know if the Beavers have allowed it yet.
What if I found like a mule to mule me into your country?
No, we have I believe there's an entire community of beavers that make major decisions like that, and we're just waiting to see what they come up with. But I can't say for certain. I'm pretty sure it's the Beavers. Much like your guys' groundhog, which is a liar, right? We have those as well. They're
it's all run by corporate media interests. So, what do you have going on? You've been doing a lot of stuff lately. How often are you cooking on that big giant offset smoker that you built?
That's at least once or twice a month. Now we got events coming up. Like, we just opened up. We opened up July 1st, and I've had 2 events since then. So it's been busy. It's been fun. Cooking
That's really cool.
Cooking a ton, man.
And you're doing all the sides. So you're doing all that meat. You're trimming up all that meat, and then you're cutting up all the meat. So you stay up. Do you cook it there, or do you cook it at your place and then just fire it up there for the aesthetic and to keep everything warm?
I try and cook most everything there. If I can.
So you'll go to the event place and stay up all night long, like at a competition or something, cooking.
Yep.
Then the event's open, and then you're there. That band at the last event, and the singer of that band was good. They were doing that like the Ace of Spades, and he sounded just like Lemmy. I think this is the dude's name. It was awesome,
man. That was one event I would have loved for you to be at.
That one was that. They're all great, but that one looked like a blast.
The boys all looked like Skinnerd. Like the first run of Skinnerd. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, you kids better know some Skinnerd, because I'm going to get a bit sideways here. And if you don't have something for me, right?
Did they kill the Skinnerd?
You better. They played Call Me the Priest.
Man, the guy's voice is perfect for that type of music. He's got that raspy, soulful. I mean, they're really good.
It was so clean too, man. It was so nice.
All right, I have a man down situation. Give me a second.
No problem.
This is crazy. I've got this new carpet, so the earpod. Oh, there it is. I found it. Technical difficulty, everybody. I've got the new AirPod Pros, but I guess I haven't gone through the exercise of fitting the ear things to the other ones just fit in your ears. These, you got to fit them.
Nice.
Fit them. Like fit them in your mouth.
Jam them in there.
So how could you see who's on? Like when you're on this, where do you see where people are? And
there's a chat. There's a chat on the side if you got that. Somewhere you'll
Right.
see a button. Just make sure you don't turn it off. But there is a chat going on there.
Yeah, I see it says private chatting. Oh, comments. There we go.
Boom. Yeah, and everyone. You got Cowboy Kev from
Yeah.
the barbecue chat, right? Jeremy's in the house now. Everybody's
Mhm.
rolling in there. Jeremy, you know what this bottle is. This is when I was out at Jeremy's house. I had never seen a soda stream before because I'd never been someplace so fancy that they had
Is that
bubbling
where they
water.
like put the gas into the
Yeah,
water
you
to
hook
make
it up and
your own soda?
yeah. So then right away his wife is just bitching at me. Wow, we never been through so many bottles of CO2 in our lives here. This is crazy. And I'm like, well, don't show me fancy things and not expect me to milk the shit out of this machine,
What?
right?
I mean, come on. Don't have it here unless you want me to use it.
That's like literally, right? Make yourself at home, Mel. She turns around. I'm taking a pickle out of the jar. With your fingers? What's wrong with you? I'm like, what are we doing here? Say it straight, woman. What do you want? This is.
Don't say my house is your house. I mean, like, at least say, hey, make yourself at home. But,
That's it.
respect, ask if you want something.
Well, and you know what? I cleaned up the situation. I hate the whole fucking jar of pickles. So whatever. Then problem solved, right? Problem solved. Not a big deal.
Stuff a bunch of chicken in the pickle juice so you can like brine it for them. Come back the next day and cook. Say I'm sorry.
That happened. So there's that.
I bet it.
Yeah.
So
what have you been up to? How's Florida?
Florida's really good. So Florida, I'm liking it. We for those that don't know, we lived in Louisville. My wife was from Louisville, Mrs. BUDDHA, and we've lived in Louisville the last 5 years. And we had a place down here in Florida, and we moved down here for the winter, and we liked it so much, made so many deep relationships, we decided to come and move and get down to the one place. And here we are, but it's new. Like the second week we were here, we got hit by that hurricane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Most everybody was like, all of our like local friends here were like, it's okay. It's not a big, we've only been hit by one bad one and blah, blah, blah. So we were feeling good. And then like 2 days before, some neighbor that we know on the street was like, are you prepared for the hurricane? Have you gone down to the community center? They're giving out sandbags. And I was like, okay. And this is how naive I am. I'm sitting there on a Sunday and I'm talking to Ms. BUDDHA, Debbie, and I'm like, should we go get sandbags? And she's like, I don't know. I mean, she says we should. But I'm like, but Tyler and all these other people say we don't need the sandbags. It's not going to be anything. And Debbie's like, yeah, but I trust Karen. You should go get some sandbags. So I went and got these sandbags. I pull up with my car, my truck, expecting like to drive up to like some community service people and be like, yeah, I'll have 10 bags. Just put them in the back. And I pull up and no, it's like little shovels out there and bags and this just giant thing of sand. And I got it immediately. And then I realized, I checked myself. I said, well, that's ridiculous. And I went to work. Well, the problem is I'm old and out of shape. And over the span of 2 weeks, I drove 15 hours in a car. And so all of my joints weren't up for the task of bagging 10, like 40-pound bags of sand. Needless to say, the hurricane was much to do about nothing, but I threw my back out. So a week I was like down.
Oh.
But children and audience out there, fear not. The Buddha was back on his feet. I did stretches. You all sent me texts and DMs and gave me stretches. All the physical therapists out there, thank you, sent me. And I put in the work. And I did what I needed to do, and I'm back, Mel. I'm back. So that's how Florida's going.
That's fantastic. See, that's hilarious. As soon as you said sandbags, I was like, because we use that for traction in our cars, right? Like that's
putting all the weight on the back wheel. Well, because we're close, the town we're in we're only, I forget, but we're our house is not too many feet above sea level. We're not at or below, but we're, and so we're just outside of the flood zone, but we're really close to where the water is, and in a big storm, a surge could bring up the water. So I was like, well, man, I just moved here. I don't want all my stuff ruined. So I got the sandbags, but I threw out my back. I went to the Family Dollar. Check this out. This is funny. went to the Family Dollar. I was like, I need to get some water because, you need water if you lose everything in a hurricane. The dogs need to drink water. You need to drink water. We need water. So I went and got like 4 gallons of water in like a couple of 24 packs of the bottles, right?
Yep.
Went up. She's ringing it out. I'm not really paying attention. I'm dazing off thinking about sandbags and stuff. And she's like, $5.85. And I'm like, she's like, $5.85. And I'm like, and I'm thinking she's like calling out the prices as she's ringing them into the cash register, the point of sales. No, that was like the total bill. So like the Family Dollar, I got like a lot of water for an inexpensive rate. But now we didn't need it. Now I've got a whole closet full of water.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So anybody in the Tampa Bay area that needs some good water.
Well, this was before the pandemic, right? All the craziness with the toilet paper. And the wife she was laughing. She's like, it's funny because all the time these things come up and like Mel's already figured it out. And her friends are like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, every time he goes to Costco, he buys another bundle of toilet paper. So we have like 4 bundles of toilet paper in a closet in the back 40, right? And I'm like, I eat brisket every day. Like, I got toilet paper. I'm not going to run out of toilet paper. So then when all of this pandemic shit was happening, people were panicking. Stabbing each other in the streets over toilet paper. I was like, Lisa, it's time to go into business, I think. This is hilarious.
Did you all eBay some toilet paper? Stand on the corner with like a coat, an overcoat. Hey, I've got your feather rolls right here.
Yeah. Oh, it was hilarious.
It's crazy. And then here's what happened is when it became like in abundance again, I had this like fear, like my granddad from the Great Depression had this fear of money and stuff. So he was a hoarder. I like had this fear of toilet paper. So like when it became readily available again, I would go buy what I need and then like 2 more. And so when we went to go move from Louisville to Florida, Debbie's like, what are we going to do with all this toilet paper? I'm like, what do you mean? What are we going to do with those toilet paper? She's like, come down and look. And I went in the basement. We just had like this whole rack of, I was like, we've become one of those hoarders. So found homes for all that toilet paper, but it happens. It's scary stuff, folks.
Oh. Hopefully you gave a bunch of it to Meat Stick because he's full of crap.
I don't know what up with Meat Stick, but he is not full of anything but crap. Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like a great guy, that one, man. I don't know. I saw him on here earlier. I don't know if he's still here, but
he probably did his obligatory sign in so everybody would know he signed in and then bounced because he's like, man, I've got like, Heist to watch on Netflix.
Yeah. That's did you watch that one? That burger?
We're halfway through. We're right to the one where everybody's told us about the Pappy heist.
Yeah,
so we've gotten up to the Pappy heist. But I was like watching the second one and I was like, man, that Carlos's wife's brother. I was like, I relate with that guy. He knows how to party. He kept getting kidnapped and he didn't care. He would just, have you seen it? He would go back and start partying again. They were like, I can't believe he didn't learn his lesson. I'm like, that would be me.
Well, wait until you get into the bourbon one because the wife was watching that one and she's like, this seems like something you'd do. I'm like, I've legit, everyone has skimmed on. Like, you don't skim at work? She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, this is actually not that big a deal, right? She's like, there's a fucking TV show about it, Mel. I think it's a big deal. I'm like, this is talking to the wrong.
Does it say Mel? Oh, then forget about it. Forget about it.
Yeah, I was like,
forget about it.
Talking to the wrong crowd here, man. That's everybody skims a little. Come on, now. That's yeah. I don't know. It was a good show. It's a good show. You're gonna like it. You were right there too. That's the crazy part. You were right there.
That was like right when I moved to Louisville. It happened like the year before. Yeah. And my craziest, so here I have I've had bottles of Pappy, and everything that I got was before the madness, right? Yep. So, and I'm not a collector to collect. So if you see me when you're at my house, you're like, I want some Pappy, I'll pour you some Pappy. Maybe a little shot to eke it out, but that's what we'll do. But I digress. So. But the first bottle of Pappy 20 that I scored, a buddy of mine in Northern Virginia said, hey, dude, did you know you can go up to, because in Northern Virginia, that's outside of Washington, D.C., you would have to go to the Virginia ABC. They only had ABC, like Virginia controlled alcohol beverage control stores, and you go there. And Pappy started becoming a thing then, but it wasn't like the thing that it is today. And he said you could go ask them, and they'll have a list that they keep behind the counter, and they'll add your name to the list. They get, X amount of bottles per month. Probably take 6 months, but you'll get called and you'll get a bottle of Pappy. And remember, this was like 2011, 10, way before the craze hit. So I went and signed up. A day later, all of a sudden I get this call. Mr. Sussman, yes. We have a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle 20 for you here at the store. You want to come pick it up? I said, absolutely. I'm on my way. I live like 5 minutes away. Drove up there, pulled up. All right, how much do I be seated for this? You're seated, but it's a dramatic effect. I'm a storyteller now. I'm trying. Anyway, so $88.95. So I paid $88.95. I said, thank you very much. Put it in the packaging, took it home, got home. 10 minutes after I got home, I get this call, ring. And it wasn't ring. I had a cell phone at the time. But again, I'm a storyteller. I'm telling a story. Ring. Hello, Mr. Sussman. Yes, this is Virginia ABC store, blah, blah, blah. Yes. We just sold you a bottle of Pappy. Yes. We shouldn't have sold you that bottle of Pappy. I'm like, what? They said, well, it was supposed to go to the first person that signed, and we accidentally went to the last person that signed. And you shouldn't have got it. You just signed up. There's been people waiting 6 months. I said, I've already opened the bottle and had some. And they said, okay, all right, okay, but don't tell anybody this story ever. And I said, I won't. And this is like the 10,000th time I've told this story.
That's awesome.
So karma is certainly going to catch up to me one day, I would think.
That's awesome, man. That's beautiful. Wow. What do you do though? That's crazy. Like that never happened.
I wasn't going to all of a sudden say, I'll go and give it back to you. I mean, maybe there's probably people in the audience right now, Mel, that are losing confidence in me because they're saying that Sussman guy has no morals.
100% not. If you're watching this show, you are probably a pirate of some kind yourself. So I don't doubt that.
That's pirate on the minuscule. The only transgression is the person that legitimately should have gotten that bottle. And I feel for that person, but they got the next one. This is probably the next call.
And there's a huge chance that I've met people that do those draws every year and then they flip them on eBay. So, right?
Oh, I still have the bottle. In fact, when you're here, you will have a drink of that very bottle.
Don't say that. I was literally looking up flights to Tampa last night. I was literally like,
you give me the flight, you know the deal. You give me the flight. Buddy. And if people want, you know what we should do? This is probably a dumb idea, but we should probably put this out there and have people crowdsource it. Mm-hmm. Say, we're going to throw a party at the BBQ BUDDHA compound with Shem and Mel. We're going to get after the cook. Somebody's shooting a chicken in your backyard?
No, that's Elvis moving his water dish around.
Oh, this sounds like somebody with a buckshot shotgun out there shooting.
But he's got one of those great big water, like it's the size of a manhole cover, right? And he's just dragging it. This is what he does. You heard me talking to him before we turned this on. Don't fuck with me. Just don't fuck. And this is what he does every time.
Well, honestly, I heard you saying that, and I guess now that you're saying it, it makes sense. I should have assumed it was Elvis you were talking to, but when I logged on, I heard you saying it. I was like, "Wow, Never heard Mel talk to his family like that before." and that was funny. That's a funny visual.
Well, he walks under the lawn chairs, but he's just tall enough to get stuck under them.
Right.
And I'm here trying to have a conversation, and the lawn chair's like banging everything around and going around. It's
you know what you should do? You should make him a part of the whole experience. You should get a GoPro and strap it to Elvis and have the Elvis cam.
You know what you'd see? You
And
know
then
what?
you should have a little thing right now where you could go from camera A to camera B, do a live like editing thing, and you could be like, all right, Elvis, and Elvis is like tagging like a stuffed animal or
Yeah,
something.
that's exactly what you'd see the whole time. The
And
camera would
by
just be sitting
tagging
back.
ladies and children that are watching
Yes.
tonight, I mean like putting a price tag on the back, because Mel and his family like to like give back to the community and sell at yard sales.
I've shown Elvis tagging things from time to time on this show before because that's just funny, but I think it's funny. It's hilarious.
Well, I get so much with the Yoda and Obi. That's why I spam all of you all with those things in my feed. But people are like, man, I love your barbecue, but I love those. I don't know what I love more, the dog videos or the barbecue videos. I'm like, as long as you like one of them, I'll keep doing both. But every now and again, I'll just throw on the, where they're just, they go at it in a way like they're like 69ing. And I'm like, I don't think like from a human perspective, it's the same thing going on. But from a dog perspective, it's not far off.
Yeah, no. And if they keep doing it, maybe it's exactly what it looks like. Just saying. It may be exact.
Who am I to judge?
I'm just saying, like Elvis knows the difference. Elvis knows the difference between the baby carrot wrapper and the chip wrapper. He's not stupid. He knows the difference just in the crinkle from another room, whether it's worth him getting up or not. So that says a lot there. Did
you ever watch, what was that? It had the guy from The Lord of the Rings and Wilfred.
Oh,
you ever watch Wilfred?
Wilfred, yes. We watched, I think we watched one episode or a season of that.
Pretty funny. It jumps the shark like most of those shows do, but the very first season or two had its merits.
I enjoyed it very much. I like I like those stoner shows. They're good shows.
I didn't want you to call me out like that. That was
no, but the guy's smoking.
Can I ask you what you're doing? Because off camera, it looks like you're filling a corncob pipe, but I have no idea what you're doing. But your body motions, it seems like you're like I'm imagining you filling a corncob pipe with tobacco.
I'm pouring bubbly into my bottle.
Oh, well, that's a similar thing. Just different labels.
Pouring bubbly into my bottle.
That's the name of our concept album.
That's fantastic. You know what? I've been watching a lot of your. There's a lot of live music going on where you're at, hey?
There really is, and that's
cool.
A part of me that people know a little bit about, but may not. I played music in the Washington D.C. area, Mid-Atlantic region. Of North America for 25 years or so, somewhat professionally, some good bands, some okay bands, but did it up and down. And when I moved to Louisville, I just kind of stopped for a while. I just didn't feel like doing the 10 o'clock to 3 in the morning gigs anymore. But here in St. Pete, Tampa area, there's a lot of great musicians, a lot of really talented people down here, and a very robust live music scene. So it's fun to get back into it. So combining the two, I might do like a music barbecue thing in the near future, but you'll have to wait to see. I'm just getting my feet wet.
No, I assumed that's where that was going anyway. That's so did you bring your rig down or did you flip it or what?
Esther?
Yeah.
I sold Esther.
Yeah.
It's it's a common tale with a lot of people in our industry. I could have stuck it out, but I don't know what I want to do with it just yet, meaning that aspect of it. And I got it pre-COVID, started doing gigs, had a bunch of breweries and stuff in Louisville and events, catering, all sorts of stuff lined up, and then COVID hit. And then I thought I was going to do a guerrilla style and then I just, it just became that sort of, and plus the social media influencing, for lack of a better term, the kind of thing that we do for the people we work with became big during COVID because people were home and getting their information from the social media channels. So it sort of offset it in our world because we got to do other creative things. And then when I moved to Tampa, I'm not sure what I want to do with that yet. And I have a smaller footprint. I had a big space in Louisville. We have a big backyard, but we decided to fill it with a pool instead of a smoker. Yeah. So we've got a cool pool, everybody here. And I've got like all my Big Green Eggs and all of that. And all my catering stuff. So I'm looking at what I could do with that. And I've got a mobile rig that I'm going to get a carrier for. So I'll have a couple of Big Green Eggs that I can roll out to events and do here. So I'm going to do something to that effect. I'm just not sure what it is. And it's definitely not going to entail a big 250-gallon smoker. So, well, but yours is beautiful. And it doesn't surprise me knowing your profession. But you kind of, like most of the things you do, you are very humble about announcing Elvira to the world and her build. I'm a big fan of yours and a very good friend of yours, and I missed that you were building this beautiful offset. You were very low-key about it. So I'm sure other people may have a similar observation. Do you want to walk us through? Was it a conscious effort? Did you want to surprise your audience? Did you do that for other reasons, or was it a spontaneous decision to build and do that in your life?
Well, it wasn't spontaneous, but like I am committed to Big Green Egg, right? So I wasn't terribly, pumped with filling my feed with offset posts.
No. And by being a person who cooks primarily on Big Green Eggs and did an offset, I look at it as a huge compliment for Big Green Egg. Some of the biggest names in barbecue right now, Burt Bachman from Trudy's Underground Barbecue and Slab Barbecue in LA is at the top of that list. They all started doing their learning and their first events and everything on Big Green Egg. You get to a point where you need to cook. You could get the 5X Big Green Egg, but that would be a little bit hard to carry around. So people go to offsets, but you couldn't become a pit master or someone as skilled as you if it wasn't for the Big Green Egg. So I look at it as a 1+1.
100%. Yeah, we have a ton of fans that are loving your book in here. Just so you know, everyone's pretty sure everyone that's in here has your book. They all love it. But yeah, it's
So for those of you that bought it because you know me, or you bought it because you didn't know me, or for whatever reason, thank you. The biggest compliment to me is that you got something out of it other than recipes. The exciting part for me writing that book was being able to do a narrative. And I hope you all know me well by now. I'm not this is how you should cook, or I'm telling you I'm the expert. I'm like, these are the questions I've had learning this stuff. I have a bunch of people out there I interact with. They seem to be the same questions. Here's what I've learned. Here's my experience. And here's how you can implement it into your backyard barbecue. And it seems to have resonated with a bunch of people. So thank you.
Oh, yeah. I hear about it all the time, man. I've a lot of fans. And I loved it myself. I absolutely. The sauces for me, I still double back to those sauces all the time digging through there. I really enjoyed it. It's a good book, man. You did a good thing there.
It was interesting. I went into the book signing confidently because I was like, oh, yeah, I'll be able to pull together 50 recipes easily from all the stuff that I've done. And they're like, oh, yeah, you can't. This was after I already signed a deal. They're like, they have to be 50 new recipes. They can't be anything that you've had on your blog or on your Instagram. And I was like, so what I did is creatively, I got some sauce ideas that say I did on a chicken wing or pork chops or something, and I jerry-rigged it for a different protein and sort of transposed it there and did a different technique. And so I was able to borrow from my past, but then move it forward in hopefully a creative and inspiring way, Mel.
Oh, man. I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. I can't wait to see what you got next. I know you got something, but I can't wait to see what it is.
Yeah, well, it's kind of cool. I'm in a little bit of a soft spot now for those of you that are followers of me and stuff. It's moving from a market after you got all set up and then getting set up in a new market. So I had everything set up the way I wanted to create content in Louisville. And now it's a challenge. I don't have a covered kitchen. I don't know the weather patterns, the lighting patterns, blah, 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 blah. Plus, I'm just settling into a new town. It's a big change. So, but I'm starting to figure the routine out. and I'm starting to get my sea legs underneath me. As a matter of fact, you'll be the first to know here on the show, much like you did last weekend, which was an excellent takeover, by the way. I am taking over the Big Green Ag account this Saturday, July 24th, it looks to be. Is that this Saturday, July 24th, from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which seems to be a challenge for me, not so much for you and your audience, but for me, I'm challenged by the time. And I am cooking my famous blackened American red snapper that was caught in the Gulf of Mexico just yesterday. My neighbor gave me a huge fillet that I'm going to grill and blacken on the Big Green Egg and make my mango salsa and teach everybody how to make a simple, delicious, awesome blackened fish taco on your Big Green Egg with a side of mango salsa or topping of mango salsa.
I cannot wait for that, buddy. That's awesome.
So that's what I've going on near term. Long term, I don't know. I think I might go into selling shoes.
Right on. That's fantastic. That's shoe salesman. That's a respectable job.
You have to work with feet, and you're not a podiatrist, so
that's it. Well, especially in this day and age, in this market, right?
And you're dealing with online retailers like Amazon.
Yeah, I was waiting for that one.
I had to wait, and I was going to hit you with it at the exact right time, and I felt, Mel, that this was the appropriate time to initiate Blue Rocket.
Yeah,
I'm leaving the orbit and falling back to Earth in a very look just like that, right?
Chris, you just slipped that one right in there. Just slipped it right in there. Let me tell you, I'm
showing everybody my scabby elbows. Look at that, old man elbows.
Oh, that's fantastic. For anybody that's listening today, I need you guys to just answer on here on the chat right now. Did you see the rocket that was launched today?
Well, you have to tell them what rocket.
Well, no, they'll know. They'll know.
They may not know.
Well, if they didn't
be from a different country that has different rocket launches.
I'm pretty sure
if they're calling from Paraguay, they may have. They may not be interested in our rocket launches. They may be interested in the rocket launches of Colombia, for instance.
From what I assume, they all have Amazon. They all have Prime. They all know what rocket was launched today. It has to be. I'm just saying,
Mel. I was trying to stretch this bit out a little bit longer to build momentum for the end, the punchline, and okay.
Chris, I think it's long enough.
All right. Okay.
The rocket looked like a giant penis. I'm just saying. And it bothers me that no one's talking about it. It bothers me that
everybody's talking about it. International media.
Okay.
Domestic media, they're not. I mean, they may have made some quips originally when it was, but nothing like. But if you look at Australian media, I saw a bunch of stuff funny on TikTok today. People are like stopping the video and going,
"Yeah, oh, it's insane." It's literally so. We have a mutual friend, that Happy Film guy, right? Yeah,
he's a great guy.
He's a fantastic dude. So we were chatting back and forth just a little bit, right? Because I happen to have like a bit of a theater day today. So, and I said, "Did you see this thing?" And then he sent me that Austin Powers bit. Look at that thing. It looks like a giant, that one where they go for like 2 minutes on this bit. I was like, bravo, sir. Bravo.
Dude, if you were watching, please send that to me. I'm disappointed I wasn't included in that list, Alex.
It was just one of those. So Burley Boy's on. I'm sure he's going to be full of posts about that, man. It's insanity to me before, because I have Amazon boxes on my doorstep every single day, that I never saw that huge phallus in the logo until now. But now everything to do with Amazon looks like a member. Everything. Even the guy, Bezos, he's bald. And he's like...
And did you see the way the parachute came out at the top of that thing?
Just saying, the whole thing seems.
It was like a 5-roper.
You could stretch this.
The ropes. The people have such a dirty mind. I don't know what their term of roper is. It's the ropes connecting the parachute to the pod that they live in.
To take care of the payload.
Now your audience is just.
It's insane. Oh, there, Meat Stick's back. There he is. Oh, it's insane to me that. And I said this before.
Meat Stick made a good joke, and we should call attention to it.
There you go. Balzos.
He said Jeffrey Balzos.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's fantastic.
It's cool. You can do that.
Yeah, there you go. See,
hearts and ropes.
And it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. I said this before when Trump, and we're not getting into politics. I'm just saying when Trump and
Let's get into politics, man.
Kim Jong-un were doing their thing, right? And Trudeau was dressing up like whatever the hell he was doing. And all this crazy shit was happening all at the same time. I'm like, I don't know if anybody noticed this, but all of our supreme leaders have turned into the TV movie Team America. Like we're watching CNN, but it's literally the Team America puppet movie. Like it was insane.
You mean the one that goes America?
That's the one. Like it was like actually right because you had Trump like. Screw it. Let's kill the Rocket Man. I'm like, what the hell is happening here? Saddam Hussein's going to pop out of a cactus. You guys are all screwed. This is just going to go right to, like, what's happening? Like, what is this? So now we have...
It's really France that has to worry because they were the one that got all the collateral damage.
Matt Damon. Yeah, this is exactly when I saw that rocket and I thought of Austin Powers instantly, right? And I was like, literally, like we're coming out of this COVID cocoon and everything, and all of the bazillionaires in the world are like, we're actually like, we don't even care anymore. We're just going to show you how stupid this whole system is. Like it's like who's running this thing? Where's our like? I need an adult. That's what I'm thinking at this point. I need an adult. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're all like that's the soccer moms are pissed on wine at 10 a.m. Like, what's happening here? Like, no one's in control of anything.
I was sent from planet Chiron to conquer the Earth. I had a terrific plan. I thought it would work. Tried to get the Earth rings all to kill each other, you see, but it all went wrong, and now I must decree. You are worthless, Howard Bowen. You are worthless, Howard Bowen. You failed in every way, and now my stocking.
One of the greatest movie songs known to man. You are worthless, Alec Baldwin.
Oh, I love it. This is so one of the big things that caught my eye with the. Uh-oh. Are you pooping or what? What's happening here? Uh-oh. See that? He touched his iPhone and now he doesn't have any internet.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Yeah.
One sec. I know how to fix it. I know what happened.
Uh-oh. Do. There you go. Fantastic.
So there you go. Sorry about that. I turned on my iPhone to show that video, and then my AirPods connected to that. I had to disconnect.
Yep. And now everything's gone to hell. That's how it happens. So, do you remember? You and I we connected in a rental car, going down whatever highway it was, leaving Atlanta to Augusta, Georgia. And when we finally made that connection, there was a song we talked about. It was a really weird thing.
Is it the Tenacious D song?
Yes. Set the artist free, man. That was, to this day, I still think about that. And I'm like,
the fact that you, let me say this without getting emotional, and I don't mean for the audience at home to feel, but this is when you hit it off with somebody, and I know everybody feels like they hit off with Mel, but we really spent a lot of time in the car at a festival. We hit it off. He was just going to stay at this hotel because he thought everybody was going to be staying at this hotel for a couple of days and take a vacation, but everybody was leaving. He was like, man, what I do? I was like, you come with us to Campbell's house, And he was like, yeah, and it was great, wasn't it? The drive down there, the whole thing. So
awesome.
It was just incredible. I had a point at the story. Totally forgot what was I saying in the beginning.
When the connection happens.
It was immediately Mel and I. The song, the Tenacious D song. So for me, not only did we make that connection that you heard me tell you about the song, right? Yep. Which from like a Lark band and a Lark song, but for you to then, for that to register and then be important enough for you to then go look at it. And then you like, when I got your reaction, you're like, dude, because it really is that moment in time that you and I were talking about this very thing. Yeah. I was like, you need this sort of message from someone. It was
crazy. So. It was crazy. Like, and that's, what a weird trip that was anyway. You know what I mean? Like that farmer's market with the black tip shark. And like everything you could think of. It was just Jack Arnold cooking pies. Like it was just the whole thing.
Like a whirling dervish. He was like a freaking little like Tasmanian devil that just through the whole house. And I was like, I didn't know Jack could cook a pie, and he cooked a pie. He cooked a pie. It was like a peach pie. I'm not sure what kind of a pie it was.
Yeah, I don't remember, but it was freaking great. Like that, the whole thing was just right. Meeting good old Herman, man. He was the whole thing. The whole thing.
Herman's good. I was like, Herman, you should come down and visit, because he was sending me some stuff from Chris's house last week or the week before. He's like, we're going to Hawaii soon. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. You do Hawaii. You'd be good, Herman.
Yeah, no. Well, that's, I don't know. Campbell was going to throw one of those after parties after Oktoberfest, and now that that's pooched, I don't know. Swiss seems to think it's still on.
I think you should, if Chris is watching or he hears from the show, I think you should reach out to him. The word is there may be a hidden secret after party Oktoberfest thing at his house.
Yeah, I think.
But I don't know that firsthand.
Well, Swiss invited everybody to it anyway, so.
Right. That's how I found. I was like.
Yeah. Well, might happen.
Gotta love Swiss.
It's so weird, man. It's like so flights to Florida are like $1,400, but I can get to Kansas City for $400, $300 or $400. So I don't really understand why it's so crazy, but
I can tell you why.
Well, everyone wants to be
Canada.
there.
You don't want to go to Kansas City. If you been now, granted, I'm talking about before you had this hot summer. I would imagine prior to having any hot weather in your area at all, craving hot weather was a pretty big wish on the wish list, because you're like, this is awesome. I've never feel this way, so this is great. But then once you get a firsthand approach, it's probably like you don't want to leave 100-degree weather to go to 100-degree weather.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That post that you did with the lemon was a classic.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. It was hot, man. It's been crazy hot up here, like crazy hot. I don't.
The whole funny thing is you could have just started it by saying it's hot and throwing yourself into a tub, but the fact that you worked in a lemon to that whole thing and connected a lemon into you jumping into a tub of cold water was brilliant.
Yeah, it was. Well, I had to. A lot of people here have been complaining, right? And I have to say, like, don't complain, because God's going to hear you and he's going to dump 3 feet of snow on us, like, at any given moment here. And then we're going to want to go back to complaining about the hot weather, not shoveling fucking snow, which is probably next month. So I don't want to deal with any of that. I'm fine with global warming. It's actually turned out really good for us here. So but whatever. I don't know what to tell you. I hate winter, man. I really hate it. And this is maybe unbearable, but it also doesn't suck so much. Like, if we keep this up in a couple years, I can plant a palm tree maybe. I don't know. Like, pretty excited about that. That's kind of cool, right? It's
That's pretty funny.
Always
I know.
look at the right side, right? Like,
thank God we have a barbecue audience. People are eating this up.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, man.
Well, honestly, I mean, literally, honestly, Jeff Bezos says Bezos is going to build a space station where people can live and work. So, I mean, at some point, people can choose to live not on Earth if it's too hot or what to their liking and live on a station.
Yeah, that would be. I don't know.
And on that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you and good night.
I couldn't see a hotel in space being a big deal. I'd like to see what the water slide is like, maybe.
What are you talking about? A hotel in space would be a huge deal. Now you put a casino in space?
Well, yeah, for a lot of people it would be, but I myself, I don't know. I guess it'd be pretty cool, but
you know what I would want to do? I don't want to eat in space or cook in space.
How do you digest?
I want to be like the first barbecuer in space.
Wouldn't everything
actually
explode?
I don't want that at all, but I'd like to see that happen and hear the tall tales. But I don't think I want to be a space barbecuer.
I thought you couldn't have combustion in space.
They've got to figure that out now.
Well, I'm not quite sure how that works.
I mean, now you have the science behind smoke and smoke adhesion. You just break it down to the chemical compounds, freeze dry it, release it, sous vide it, toast it with a little electrode.
Yes. So what you're saying is sous vide with Old Hickory liquid smoke is what you're saying.
But liquid smoke will be much, much more advanced. It'll be powdered smoke.
Have you heard anything about this putting red wine in a blender?
No, but I don't know what you're going to finish this with, but I can imagine where it would go to aerate it, to hydrate it more. But you could also really bruise the wine, not to sound like a wine snob, but hitting it with that type of force would bruise the wine to me.
Yes, that's what I thought. It would be far too aggressive. Now, that being said, I still enjoy wine out of a box, so I'm not going to be too hard of a critic on this, but...
Well, but hold on. I mean, that a long time ago, used to in the 70s, 80s, maybe even in the 90s, may have been a criticism, but lately?
Well, who knows, man? Who really knows? From what I understand, the aeration in the Vitamix is supposed to be like superb for this wine. But yes, I don't think I'd do a fine wine in there for sure, but a nice mid-level.
Well, people do stranger things.
Well, this is, that's...
With
so
wine,
my dad likes the old Carlo Rossi with a cut of Diet Coke on the top. But that's
because...
because...
what I've learned, you like what you like.
That's it.
Like what you like. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, I could tell you why you should like something or how to pair something, but that's very subjective. It's not objective.
You know what? It's time for truth time with Mel here.
Do I have anything to do with this, or can I take a break and go eat something?
This is a free one. This is a free and quick one. I don't like pork ribs.
Like baby back ribs and spare ribs?
I don't like spare ribs. I don't like pork ribs. I don't like
cooking them or eating them.
Eating them.
Both.
Eating them.
Why?
I don't know why, but I do.
You don't like the texture? You don't like the flavor?
A bit of both. Like for me to jump in. No, this is my thing. For me to jump into a pork rib and really want to eat it, I just want the barbecue sauce. The rib is just the vehicle. I'm actually just excited about, you know what I mean? Like if you hammered that thing hard with a
But if you had good ribs, or I would assume you could make good ribs because you're an amazing barbecue pitmaster extraordinaire.
But you know what? I make great
ribs is one of my favorite things. You just and you don't have too much sauce. You have a glaze, a little a kiss. You have the crust and you have the glaze, and and it's unlike a buffalo wing. But I have an idea that a friend chef in Louisville area gave to me, but I'm going to steal it. I'm going to share it with all of you so all of you can steal it, and then no one will know whose idea this was originally.
Do it.
You do, instead of buffalo wild wings, you do a rib, like you cut ribs, like pork baby back ribs, and you fry those like chicken wings. And so essentially you get like sauced baby back ribs that have been individually fried, and you eat them like chicken wings.
Oh, that.
And you have different sauces that you sauce them in, and you have different dipping sauces you dip them in. But the concept is like a buffalo wild wings, but for ribs.
That sounds incredible.
You want to go in on it with me?
You know what it is for me?
We'll call it the dark side of the Buddha.
That would be, you know what? Now that you say that, that would actually be a pretty crazy concept. Imagine if you had a Buddha with a mohawk. People would be like, what's going on here? Like, it's mohawk.
Just like imagine if you had chicken wings that were actually baby back ribs.
That's crazy. So here's my thing. I really like bison ribs. I really like beef ribs. I even like the prime rib beef ribs, and you do them just straight over the open fire. I really like those. I just don't like pork, but I want to try deep fried pork ribs. That sounds like you might be on something.
That's a challenge. I feel like the audience would want this too. I feel like we need to have people. We need to do a GoFundMe and have Mel fly down here.
Yep.
And then not only I think I would be the one to crack the code, but I don't want to be full of hubris and like I know it all. So I'll invite all the local pit masters and stuff to come over here. Anybody that wants to travel, we'll meet here at my house. You can stay here up to the limit. I could sleep 8 people here, a couple people on the couch. You'll be fine.
Oh, buddy.
And by 8, I mean people will be sharing rooms, not 8 individual bedrooms, like 3 bedrooms or 2, and then pull a couch. So come on. But the thing that I'm saying is we'll do it, and we'll have a rib conversion. Somebody will get you to like ribs. I will guarantee you'll like the ribs I make. They're delicious. They're delicious.
That sounds amazing.
Actually, Meat Stick could make some good ribs. I think he's chimed back in. He seems to be. What if the moon were made of barbecue spare ribs? Would you eat it then?
You got to say it in the voice. What if the moon was made of spare ribs? What if the moon was made of spare ribs? Would you eat it then? You got to say it with the voice. That's awesome.
Is that Benicio del Toro from?
Stop it.
He sounded just like.
I didn't want to kill you. I just want to carve a Z in your forehead.
You need to take some.
I was doing that in the hot tub the other day. I sent you that one. That's kill me when the white rabbit peaks. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, buddy, so I do judge from time to time.
Are we ending in an hour, or can we keep going until we tap out?
Oh, we can go till we're done here. I do judge from time to time. KCBS barbecue judge, right? I get to eat a lot of ribs, and don't get me wrong. Like I will judge them accordingly, but if I was to sit down at a restaurant, the last thing I would want is ribs. And now that you brought up this whole other dimension of ribs, now I'm probably going because I like the garlic. I like the little garlic spare ribs. I love those. Love those ribs. Yeah. So now buffalo wing.
Imagine Kung Pao spare ribs or Kung Pao baby back ribs with that brown gravy glaze and the peanuts and the green onion. Oh my Lord, that would be good.
That sounds amazing, man. Oh, yeah. I got so many ideas all of a sudden, man. That because your dry garlic baby backs.
You could do peanut butter and jelly ribs, but you do it inverse. And here's what I mean. You do peanut butter glazed spare ribs or baby back ribs. And then in between each rib is a little layer of jelly that binds the ribs together. So you have peanut butter glazed pork ribs, cooked deliciousness, and peanuts on top and some cilantro. Bam, bam, boom.
That sounds crazy good, man.
I'm starving.
I'm not going to lie to you. The best spatchcock chicken I've ever cooked. Well, okay, there's been a couple good ones off the Big Green Egg, just regular, seasoned, smoked, turned out amazing. But one of the best, and especially the most creative of the best, was that $1 million chicken that you showed me how to make.
So,
that,
it's not my recipe. I took it and I transcribed it from the place in San Francisco. But thank you. That glaze is crazy good, isn't it?
That thing was just nuts. The wife was like, there's no way that this is going to work.
Hold on. Can I show you something? Look at
yes.
This. It's the love of my life. Say hello, Mrs. Buddha.
Oh, there she is. Mrs. Buddha. Hi, Mrs.
And what do you have in your hand, Mrs. Buddha?
Bourbon.
She's giving me a refill. Thank you, baby girl.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, she's a sweetheart, isn't she? Oh.
So, thank you, babe.
You're welcome.
Yeah, man. That was one of my favorites, that chicken. I tell everybody about it. Get a thick cut Texas toast, get it under there, right? And just,
and get it, flip it, and all the drippings from the chicken and that lemon, and it pours down in there the garlic, and then toast that bread, and then you glaze it with that mint shallot. Oh, Lord, it's so good.
Yeah, it was so good, man.
It's so good.
Crazy good. Yeah, so thank you very much for tossing me onto that one. I really hope I can make it down to Florida this year, man. I hope I can. I don't even know. I don't know what the quarantine procedure's like right now.
Well, the problem is right now, and I don't know about Canada, but things I don't know. I'm not a politician. I'm not talking about politics, but based on how many people in the States are getting COVID and spreading it again, I wouldn't be surprised if the travel restrictions resume sometime soon.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to make a nickel now that there's a rebound, but there's too many people getting sick. It seems, I don't know, I'm reading about it, but I'm not touring hospitals and such.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe they canceled the Oktoberfest.
Well, if you read between the lines, I kind of get it. The way that Rob worded it was like the things like they could have done it. I knew they were really close to this one really cool location that I can't share, but it was really neat that they were thinking about doing it. And future Egg Fest there will be pretty cool. But I would have to imagine, especially with the uptick in COVID cases, like the amount of money you would have to do to screen people and test and whatever and then plus the people cooking in the masks and stuff, they're probably like, it's too much trouble. The shit to worth ratio isn't there.
Yeah.
That's my guess. I don't know, but I'd have to imagine.
Oh, I could see that. So in the middle of the COVID lockdowns and everything, the Canadian Brewhouse up here, they had signed me on to do my very first gig with Elvira. She wasn't even finished yet. She hadn't even been painted or anything. And they're like, done, we're booking you, get this shit figured out, and we're doing it. And then they were clamping down on like the next level with the government, with this COVID. And they blew like $5,000 in plexiglass just to have this night done. Because it was already in the books. People already sold tickets. And they wanted to have one last hurrah before we went into total like darkness for however long it was going to be, right? And we managed to pull it out. But they had to set up plexiglass in between the tables. And like at the bars, there was like little plexiglass plates between the people. It was crazy, the amount of stuff they had to go through just to have this one night. But
and I mean, you could debate on whether it's needed or not. I mean, what do you do if you're running a place and you're trying to keep people safe? I mean, it's tough.
Well, it was nice though.
Oh, that's a great compliment, dude.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing at the first Elvira event? Well, Mel, what's your I mean, you're not doing pork ribs, so you're doing pulled pork and brisket.
So the brisket's on the stick burner, it's amazing. I got that sucker.
It's redonkulous, really. The little bit of time that I had my stick burner, the best thing off of that thing were briskets. It's like it's perfectly designed for that vehicle.
Oh, I've got her so dialed in now. Even the chicken, like the skin is crispy. If you poke a temperature probe in there and you pull it out, it just like springs right out.
Right.
Everything is just the juices, and it's all simple stuff. I'm using very basic homemade rubs, very basic salt, pepper, garlic.
Dude,
Just
the way I look at it is like food is food, and good food is good food. And if you could do it right, and for a lot of people, an event like that, hats off to you.
Well,
your tenacity in this stuff is really great.
Yeah, man, that's the trick for me right now, is that I'm keeping things as simple as possible and as true to like the old school as I can, because there's just so much to keep track of with that many people, right? 200, 300, 400 people you're feeding off of one cook. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But there's also a concept of scarcity, especially I really like that in the barbecue world. Hey, this is how many briskets and stuff we're cooking, and when we're out, we're out. So, you know, you don't shortchange it totally, so you're like out at, you know, the first hour of the event. But you know, don't sacrifice quality for quantity. And it sounds, but you now, do you do it all on your own? Do you have helpers who, I mean, you know, who do you do the cooking on? Or do you do the whole thing yourself, besides everything? Tell us the process.
My last event, I had my brother-in-law and the best man for my wedding, who I've been friends with for like 20 years. They came and helped me. They ended up on mushrooms. It was a great time.
Psychedelic mushrooms?
Yes, the good stuff, right? Like the whole, you know, in typical Mel fashion, like everything that was supposed to go straight went a bit cockeyed, but it's still, the event went awesome. Everyone got fed. Everyone had a blast.
Were they able to handle their shit on mushrooms?
No, not at all. But we still survived. We still made it, because they're playing me Skinnerd, right? There's people in line waiting for brisket. I'm like, you know what? You're gonna have to give me a minute, because I got to go dance. I'm gonna be right back here, and I'm gonna.
You sure,
buddy? No, no. But you know what? It was a great time, man. It was like, and this is one of the things with my events. Like
you'll shroom.
You know, well, no, I like to.
But people will think you are. It's like a compatible man, bing and boom, right?
That's
a bing and boom.
You know what you're getting. You know what you're getting, right?
Dark side of the moon. It's not light side of the moon.
No, and it's a fantastic time. I have a fan.
It's not powder dry my hole. It's fire in the hole.
That's it. But yes, sometimes I have help. Sometimes the help isn't really what you signed on for. Whatever it is, what it is, you get the thing done. You get the job done. Everyone has a great time. It's like even my brew house ones, like people are.
You notice Alex is now here. I don't know if Alex was here. Alex, you should know, if you weren't here earlier, you had a good portion of the first hour of the show is dedicated to you.
Whole topic. There you go. Is that the happy film guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, there Alex, you go. Yeah.
Now, I would pronounce that Krieger. It might be Krager. It might be Krieger.
Krieger?
Krieger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from the Isle of Loch Ness, and he is Alex Krieger. Ugh.
Scotland's cold, but not right now.
Do you just like watch me self implode and just take a drink, and you're like, man, BBQ Buddha is ruining his reputation in a 5-minute segment?
Trust me, you are not going to ruin your reputation on this show, my friend. That's everything you're doing is just solidifying for the fans that they need to keep going.
Everybody needs to keep going. That is the magic solution.
Bada bing, bada boom, dark side of the moon.
Bada bing.
Yeah. That's awesome.
All right, man. Well, you know what?
I love it.
Do you think there's a way we could coordinate? Do you have big corporate pizza delivery services near you, like Domino's or Papa John's, or is Edmonton devoid of that type of service?
We have a Domino's.
So here's what I think. I think we should coordinate by country. What's the term for a simultaneous event in two countries?
A multi-country event.
So the Olympics would be an example of a multi-country event. Yes.
Yes.
Based on.
Yeah.
So my proposition for our
man down.
I 100% need to get these freaking headphones fitted. So here's my proposition. We figure out right now at 10:11 Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
It is 8:11 your time, correct?
Yes.
We need to figure out right now how to get a Domino's pizza delivered in tandem to your house and my house so we can eat it on air live right now. I would say we've been an hour and 10 minutes. We should plan to go 2 hours, and our goal should be in the next 50 minutes to have a pizza delivered here.
So in the States, you guys are so used to getting things very quick.
Oh, will they not do it in 50 minutes in Edmonton?
In Canada, it's a whole different ball game, man. There's no 30 minutes or less, nothing. There's no, You can call pizza and they'll be like, oh, we got delivery problems. It's going to be 2.5 hour wait. Are you okay with that? And you're like, sure. There's no one else delivering. So, yeah, I guess we're going to have to. I'm not
my guess is Canada is a teeny bit different than the U.S., but everybody runs via the almighty dollar. I bet you if you said, hey, what if I tipped you $100?
The lady on the phone is not related to the guy that's delivering the pizza.
But she could be in cahoots with that guy.
It's a weird thing. Nobody wants to deliver pizza anymore. I think everybody has like an OnlyFans account, and no one really cares about doing like actual work anymore. So I've actually been looking into OnlyFans, like for cooking. Lisa got real mad at me. She's like, "What? You're signing up on that thing now? I know what this is gonna." I'm like, "Whoa!" Like, I mean, I'm gonna cook on it. I'm not gonna do any shenanigans. It's just gonna be for cooking.
Did you realize those are two terms that are very loosely defined: shenanigans and cook.
Yes, exactly.
So, I just want to shoot a big rock or form. In any way, shape, or form, you did not lie to your wife.
No.
And you have a total VIP pass to pleasuredom.
I am starting a career on OnlyFans as a cook. What do you want?
You should start. I've given you solid career advice in the past, yes?
Yes, you have.
Okay. May I give you the next?
This is fantastic. This is
it's better than fantastic because here it is. Here's what's going to shoot you to stardom.
Yes. Yes, we're still talking about the rocket for all of you that's wondering.
Your OnlyFans page will be you. People will log on. They'll see you without a shirt on in that baby pool. And somebody off camera, you never see the person. Maybe you build, like you tease it out. You see their hand occasionally. But really, you never see the person. But somebody off camera is throwing slices of American cheese at you.
People would pay to see that. I'm just saying. People would pay to
I'd pay to see that. I'd pay to see it.
There was a movie a long time ago Lisa made me watch. It was a horror movie. It was called Feed. And it was like an online, they had like webcams, and it was like compulsive eaters, and then people would make bets on them like expiring. And I was like,
dying while they're eating?
yes. And I was like, this is the grimmest thing I've ever seen in my life. She's like, well, people will pay to watch anything. I'm like, oh, geez, I don't know what you're.
But
were you looking at my credit card statements or what's happening? Like, this doesn't make any sense.
That's why I really, to me, I have a big issue with the state of competitive eating. And here's why. Anybody could train themselves how to split a hot dog in half, dip the bun in water, shove it down your throat, and shove the hot dog down your throat. It's a physical training thing that you're doing, right? And as a big guy and a lifelong big guy, it's not eating to me. Eating to me is you sit down at an all-you-could-eat buffet and you eat until the last person is sitting or standing, whatever vernacular you want to use. That's a competitive eating competition I'm interested in. Some people that are serious eaters sit down at the killer all-you-can-eat buffet and they eat and they eat and they eat until the last person's there. It could take 2 hours. It could take 20 hours. It doesn't matter. It's compelling. And it would be, God bless.
Yep.
That's my thought.
Oh, that would be hilarious, man. That takes me back to Lisa and I's first date. I took her to the Footy Goody, which was an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet. And they had those beautiful New Zealand mussels.
Oh, right? The long, skinny ones that are kind of green.
Yes, and they had like
not bad green, like the translucent green, where they're from New Zealand.
So here we're sitting down, and she's got her little plate with salad and whatever, right? And she looks over at me, and it's just a mound of mussels. And I finished.
Wait a minute, hold on. Great band name, Mound of Mussels.
Yes. So that
you could be a Village People cover band, or the hardest heavy metal band in the world. Either way, you're covered with that name, Mound of Mussels.
That's so
all right.
good.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I took us off on a tangent.
No, that was that leads into this anyway. So after a couple plates of mussels, she had gone to the washroom to come back, whatever. She's like, the staff are hiding behind that wall talking about you, right? I'm like, yeah, I know. They're good mussels. Like, have you tried them? They're the rest of the food they have is shit, but these mussels are like really good. So
were they just steamed mussels, or were they in a broth? Did you have a dipping sauce like butter?
I believe they splashed them with some kind of like a soy ginger fish sauce or something.
Oh, so there was a little bit of and aromatic in there. Okay.
Oh, they were quite nice, and they were very nicely. They weren't overcooked. They weren't super hard or rubbery, right? And it was a funny time. It was we were kids. I was in my early 20s, right? And I really liked them. The steamed rice.
In any way, and this is maybe a better conversation alone, but
yes.
Did you in any way feel violated by that experience?
I didn't. I believe she did, because I flipped one up and I was like, look at this. Look at that. Look at that. I did one of those. It was our first date. Yeah, it was her first date. And she's like, okay, so that's what we're in for here. This is.
Are you married? Do you have 2 lovely children?
Yes, that's where we're at now. We're married with two beautiful kids. So it worked. She looked past the mussel fiasco.
Or do you have mussels every Sunday night? Is it a rekindling of your...
I don't have mussels very often, but I did have mussels this week, which were quite nice. They were on sale at the local store, so I got some mussels, and they were quite refreshing. Actually,
are they from New Zealand? Have you ever wondered why the mussels you get in Canada are from the place that couldn't be any further away from Canada? It's not like they're Maine mussels. It's like, hey, we got Maine mussels. I mean, Maine is right there. No, we have New Zealand mussels. They're from a place that's like 7 time zones away.
No, nothing surprises me up here, man. There's all kinds of. It doesn't make any sense, but they're good. I don't know why they're so cheap either. Now that you mentioned, for all the shipping and stuff that they're doing, because we have our own PEI mussels, and they're actually quite expensive. in comparison to the New Zealand mussels, but maybe I should read.
Here's something that might blow your mind. I mean, if you're looking at a map, Australia's down here and Canada's up here. Maybe Australia is so far down they just need to go all the way down and they loop up at the top really quick.
I doubt it, because Australia, our shipping to Australia,
it's like
crazy. Yeah, our shipping to Australia is crazy expensive.
Well, but then Australia, you think your mussels, dude, because there's no way those New Zealand mussels could be both inexpensive and delicious. They're either A, delicious, or B, inexpensive.
Yep. Yeah, I love them.
Or maybe they're labeled New Zealand mussels because the original Papa and Mama mussel came from New Zealand.
Yeah, and now they're grown in a sea can in China. That's yeah. I will have to. I'll have to take a peek at the packaging.
Are you loading your corncob pipe once again?
No.
You're pouring the beer back in your jug?
No, so someone is messaging me about a meat slicer.
Oh, and you have to take that now during the call?
No,
let me check my phone too. Hold on.
High pressure. I'm terribly sorry. High pressure sales. I can't. I'm looking at.
Hold on. Here. Oh wait, I can't do that. Oh, I did it again. Did it again.
You touched your phone.
Oh yeah,
and now you got no audio. Yeah.
No, I have audio now.
Okay, there you go. So one of my things, hot pot. I do love going to hot pot. I'm a big fan of hot pot. They have a shaved brisket, raw brisket, sliced, ribbon thin.
I know it.
And it's amazing. You dunk it in that spicy Sichuan broth, fishy. And I just go bonkers over that. And I'm paying like premium money for this sliced ribbon, and I'm holding it, and the box weighs like less than a pound, and I'm paying $25 for the box. I'm like, this is not right. We're going to have to fix this right away. So now I'm looking into like a Hobart industrial slicer for my hot pot.
Oh, I see. Okay, because you can get a brisket and get what you need. Yeah,
yes,
that makes sense.
Yeah, man. So
the hot pots are legit. I had the pleasure of a very good friend of ours in Louisville. Her family, Chinese, and she would celebrate Chinese New Year with all of us, and her dad and mom would come, and they would make they would have all these towers of they'd have the seafood hot pot and the beef hot pot and the pork hot pot and dumplings and stuff. And it was just so cool. It was like pho meets dim sum, that kind of, you go meets Mongolian barbecue, you put different stuff in with the flavors. Oh, it's so good. So good. So yeah.
When I'm out here barbecuing and I've got a few of the eggs going, maybe the stick burner's going, like everything's going to take hours to cook. And you're day drinking, obviously. You're having a great time.
Right.
I like to throw a fondue set up on the table out here. And we'll just do a continuous hot pot throughout the day, topping up the water. And we're tossing in kubasa, we're tossing in prawns, we're tossing in. And it's like just an eat as you go kind of snack. And the broth is just getting better and better throughout the day. It's amazing.
Oh, oh, Lord. And at the end of the night, then you pour that broth into a thing and you make a soup out of it the next day.
Oh, man. It's my sneaky pleasure is taking a handful of noodles at the end of the night. Soaking them, toss them right in that pot, and then you pull the noodles back out, and they're like the best noodles of your life, right?
You just gave me a brilliant idea. That could be a way you augment your service on your OnlyFans page. Some days it's throwing cheese at you. Some days it's throwing cold pasta noodles at you. Sometimes it's like handfuls of spaghetti. Sometimes it's individual rigatoni or ziti. Just plap, pling, fleur.
That's awesome. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Oh, brother.
You doing all right?
I hope we can figure something out here soon. Because I got to get down to the States. It's been far too long for me, man.
Well, or I got to get up there. I mean, we could take a pilgrimage up there.
Yeah, man. Well, if you guys come to the mountains. I'll meet you out in the mountains. Because
Honestly, I'll rent one of those like little like mini trailer, you know, not that you have to towing would be too much of a pain for me, and not a big one because that'd be a pain and a lot of gas too, but like the little mini like vans that have like pop up and all, and we should just do a pilgrimage, a barbecue pilgrimage up to see you.
That would be fun. That would be so nice. So nice. You'd get here and you'd be like, why are you still here? You should move to the States immediately. This is
home is where home is. What I've realized is you're the same person no matter where you go.
Yeah. No, that's the truth, man. That's a weird thing, man. Like I could travel the entire world, but I would still feel very good coming back here. And that's
home.
Truth. Yeah, that's the truth. I get antsy to
Especially
leave.
When you have strong ties to, like, you know, I didn't realize how much I missed professional sports. I grew up in a professional sports town, right? So all of the sports I learned to love were professional sports teams in and around the Washington, D.C. area. So I moved to Louisville, and everything there is college. It's, you know, it's a different market there. And so being back down here, or being in a market in the Tampa area where they're professional sports, and not only that, but all their teams are winning. So I'm like, I'm not being a fair weather fan. I still have my hometown back in the DC area, but I can go Bolts, and I latch on to some of the local teams that are doing well. It's pretty cool.
That Stanley Cup series was hilarious because someone had saw me. I had commented on D'Amico's Lightning post there, and I was like, yeah. Let's go Lightning. And they're like, what? But the Canadians are in. I'm like, yeah, but those are the French ones. Those ones don't count. Those are they want to separate anyway. Don't even worry.
Was the Canadian team from, was it Montreal that was
Montreal,
in there? Yeah. So it was the French Canadians.
The proper French. We're like, well, didn't you want to separate last week? Now you're all Canadian.
Now you're all like, that's pretty funny, dude.
Yeah, it's it's a funny time, man. It's growing up in Edmonton with the Oilers, right? It's been, you can't even explain it, but hockey is like the backbone of everything here. Everything.
Somehow, so Lane Taylor asked, did I name the shack? Sorry to interrupt. Yes, it's named the Shakedown Shack. That was the big vote getter. Sorry to interrupt. Well, I can imagine. Hockey is, I mean, is it weird for you all to see? Do you have a league independent of the American League that you all like more than the NHL? Is there something more important to Canadians than the NHL? That's a good question, Chris Sussman.
The NHL is the NHL. Well, there's more Canadians playing for the Americans than anything anyway. So
so you can follow teams in America because a bunch of Canadians are playing on the
that's how.
So there isn't a professional league in Canada that rivals the NHL.
No, it's all.
But it doesn't matter to you because I'm just repeating what you just said again for really to let it sink home for me and for the audience.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great. So who's your favorite American team?
None. The Edmonton Oilers. That's it.
Are the Edmonton Oilers in the NHL?
Yes. Well, they are the NHL. That's what are you talking about? Oh, you trying to fire me up now? That's what you try to do.
No, I don't. I'm not a big. When I grew up in my area, football was number one.
Have you ever heard of Wayne Gretzky?
Yeah, he played for whatever, an American team, not
the Edmonton Oilers for 95% of his career.
Oh, did he make like all of his the stats in Edmonton before he got shipped off to LA?
Yes, he finished in LA, but his big shining achievements were all in Edmonton. We have a statue of him up in the middle of the city here.
So like Chicago with MJ.
Yes.
Have you ever had anyone come close? Have you ever had a team or an individual player that has lived up or come close to his standard or excellence?
Well, we have right now Connor McDavid. Have you ever heard of Connor McDavid?
It sounds like a Scottish guy to me, dude.
Holy jeez. So he is
Connor McDavid? It sounds like a Scottish guy, dude.
Okay, so Connor McDavid is the best hockey player on the league right now.
Okay.
And he plays for the Edmonton. He's the captain of the Edmonton Oilers right now. He's
he's better than Alex Ovechkin and the guy on Pittsburgh Penguins, his arch nemesis. Yes.
So Sidney Crosby. Yeah, he's better than all. Yes.
What about anybody in the Detroit Red Wings?
Stop it. Are you just naming random things in the room right now? I love Lamb.
No, but all of my friends that are serious hockey players, Detroit Red Wings are like old school, like, they used to be like they were the scrappers. Those were the thugs. They were like the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 70s to football.
See?
They are. So am I equating that correctly?
Yes,
so that's why I named the Red Wings.
Yes.
So
that is no. You're right. That is.
So I'm deferential to the hockey and the history of hockey.
I love it. No, so Edmonton plays a pretty important role in the NHL.
Okay.
And
what's your most important food item in Edmonton? What are you known for? Sandwich, soup, a dinner, a salad?
What a weird question.
Why is that a weird question?
Because I don't think we originated anything.
Yeah, but most people think that. But then when you really get to know, a town has a dish.
I would say the Caesar, but that was in Calgary, 2 hours south of us.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
How about a beef Porchetta?
Yeah, well, we've been doing a lot of those lately, but
may I be as bold to say a bone-in brisket?
Bone-in brisket. That's we're going to recreate that here right away, but I don't really know. We have our culinary scene is growing big time for sure, but I don't know if we're known for anything really.
A potato dish?
No, not really.
Beer corn?
We're trying. Hey, we're humping that train for all it's worth. Let me tell you, that's. Ron messages me once a month about that, man. Whatever happened to that watermelon pizza? I'm like, she died on the vine, Ron. She's not like the beer corn. That's.
Yeah, we can't all have. Yeah.
You know what? And it's the personality that sells it. It is.
Well, you and I have this conversation all the time.
You can't.
By congregation, I mean conversation.
Yes. I love it. I absolutely. People have asked, where did you come up with this? I'm like, it's 2 ingredients. What are you talking about? It's literally 2 ingredients. But yes, no, the beer corn it's been published on the website. It's no beer corn. Yeah, it's a good time. It's really good corn. If anybody hasn't tried it yet, put beer in a plastic bag with corn and cook it. It's really good.
Without the plastic bag. Don't cook it with the plastic bag.
Don't cook the plastic bag.
Have you ever sous vide it? Maybe sous vide the corn with the beer and vacuum seal it and then cook it.
See, sometimes, right?
Yeah.
People see a masterpiece and they're like, I could just mess with that for no reason. Just stop it.
Oh,
it's a perfect painting.
I was trying to appeal to your audience in Montreal with the sous vide. It was a French term. I thought I was helping with your Montreal audience.
All I want to do is take cheese curds from Quebec and throw them in a baggie. No, that's not true. I love a lot of things from Montreal. I love their cheese curds. They make the best cheese in Canada for sure. Me and Chris, Titletown Griller, we get in an argument about this all the time because he's from the cheese capital of apparently the planet, right? But our cheese will rival that hard, man. Hard. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to say that, but
we were somewhere, and I forget where, but there was a cheese curd on the menu. Appetizers. You got cheese curds. You could dip it in the stuff. Man, you had to get it, and we got it, and it was delicious. And this is really not a great story, but it was a good cheese curd.
If you pull them out fresh and you bite them, they're supposed to squeak.
Well, if you get them from Sham.
Yes. Or Quebec. Quebec cheese curd squeak. Whatever.
So, all right. So if there's no professional league that rivals the NHL in Canada, let me ask you this. Why is there a Canadian football league?
There really isn't. So that was a hurtful comment all in itself. That's
well, no, I don't know. As an American, I don't know these things. You've already established a precedent earlier, and I'm expanding on your precedent.
If Lane Taylor is still here, he will back me up that the CFL doesn't even know if they have jobs this year, to be honest with you. Through COVID and stuff, like our starring quarterback, I think, makes like $100,000 a year.
It's good money,
so,
dude.
Like, no, but they have like second jobs and stuff, and sometimes they have to miss games because they're selling cell phones or so. Like it,
they can't do it during the game.
This
every
is
tackle I get, you have to buy 500 minutes.
It's crazy, man. Like I was going somewhere in the airport. I think I was flying to Toronto. And the Edmonton Eskimos, they're renamed now because the name was offensive. So now they're the Edmonton Elks. Okay, let's circle back to that. But first of all, I'm flying to Toronto, and the Edmonton Eskimos were flying to Toronto. And they were all in the corridor, sitting on their gym bags. And I walk in there, and I'm like, "What's up? What's up? What's up? Like, what do you all do? Like, you guys want to go for a beer?" They're like, "Nah, man, we're supposed to fly to Toronto here." I'm like, "I'm on that flight, man. Y'all gangsters. Like, they're all, chained up and stuff, but they're sitting on their gym bags." I'm like, "You guys don't have a jet?" He's like, "Shut the fuck up, man." I'm like, "Whoa." Like, no, I'm just saying, like, I thought you guys had a... He's like, "Nah, we fly, same as you, man. It's..." I was like, holy shit. This is the CFL, man. Like, they're...
Well, then what do we need to do to change that? Do I need to buy, like, season tickets or posters, jerseys?
I'll start a GoFundMe for the Edmonton Elks.
Edmonton Elks.
They had to change their name to the
Edmonton Elks. Well, I am a fan of the Washington Redskins, which they are no longer the Redskins. They are the Washington football team now, and they're going to be something else that I'm sure will offend somebody. But
can I say something just in defense of my own city here?
Oh, please don't defend it. I get it.
But, no. If you have a moose, you call it a moose.
Will you fandango, thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me, Galileo Figaro. Oh. Didn't you say Scaramouche?
That's a moose.
Oh, a moose.
When you have one moose, it's called a moose. When you have a group of moose, they're called moose.
Moose, right.
There's no plural for moose.
Correct. Have you ever wondered why that was?
Mouse, mice. Right. Moose, moose.
All right, let me throw another one at you. See if you can see a parallel here.
Hold on, but I'm going somewhere.
Oh, elk? I thought that was it. Sorry.
That was it. Elk.
Right.
There's no such thing as elks.
No.
But we have a fucking football team called the Edmonton Elks.
Oh.
So it's not even a word. They've changed it to a spelling error, and they're selling merchandise about it.
Grammar error.
Yes. I'm like, this is embarrassing as shit. Like, not only did you change the name, but you changed it to a wrong spelling, and you're just...
When did they do that? Was it recently? Like last year?
This year, yeah.
Have you read anybody's...
I don't even look at it. It's, man, the comment section, I don't even look at none of it because it's crazy.
Edmonton Elks.
Yeah.
Well, is that it, dude? Have we run our course?
I think so. There's nowhere else to go from here today.
Is anybody even watching anymore? I can't even see. I could see random comments. How many people are watching?
There's
7?
There's upwards of 8. 8 and maybe 5 on Facebook. So we're doing great still. There's people here. Yeah.
Well,
see, you got Cowboy Kev. You mess with the Canadian gooses, right?
I love them Canadian gooses.
The geese are assholes, just so you know. I was a terrible child, and I like to harass the geese. There was one time that I ran so quick up into that bus. We were on a field trip at school, and they told me, don't mess with the geese, don't mess with the geese. Well, Mel, right down there, mess with the geese. I had welts all down the backs of my legs and up my butt. Because they would bite you and twist. Bite and twist. Oh, they're so mean. So mean. So I don't like geese. or gooses or whatever. I don't like them at all. That
was probably my favorite exit story ever. I mean, we could have done anything right there, and you were like, I believe you, Anthony the Bean Chef. I agree, but Mel totally pushed out on that. We should at least try. There is still time. We have 20 minutes. We can get a pizza here in 20 minutes.
Chris, do you know what I had for dinner? The wife made me elks. I made elks for dinner. Elks. Yeah, that's the wife made me. The wife made me salad wraps because she cares about me.
You know what? I care about you too.
So I had some. I did not have pizza.
Was the wrap made out of bacon?
No, but the bag of chips I have hiding in the bathroom in the basement are going to be like bacon wrapped chips. Let me tell you, because I can't survive on this shit. But yeah, it's yeah.
Well, look, dude, there's no better person than you. I love you.
I love you too, brother. Very much.
Spending this couple of hours with you is a joy. I wish we didn't have to do it every couple of months. I wish we could do it every day, but I'll see you in a couple of months.
For sure, brother. For sure. And if not, I'm going to show up on your doorstep. So let's hope for that.
Said I'd pay for the ticket.
Love you, brother.
$1,400 is my limit, though.
No, it's crazy.
Love you.
All right, brother. Love you.
Good night.
Night.